Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for December 6, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, Jamaica Gray murder trial, investigator describes horrific crime scene. A phone stench, a condom, and its wrapper were some of the observation a crime scene investigator recalled on the stand Tuesday as he described horrific details about the gruesome discovery of the body of murdered teenager Jamaica Gray. The 14-year veteran of the police force told the St. James Circuit Court that on February 1, 2000, responded to a call from a detective constable. He then proceeded to Riverside Drive in Fairfield, Irwin, St. James. He described the environment as densely vegetated and mostly composed of marl and gravel. He stated that he was directed along the road where he smelled a foul stench, then a specific area where he saw a condom box, a condom, and a condom wrapper. He also told the court that he saw the body of a young female dressed in a long-sleeved black blouse and a tiger print skirt a few meters away on the same side of the road. He said the deceased's legs were crunched up to her stomach, exposing her private areas. The cop was the 11th witness to testify in the murder trial of Gregory Roberts, who is accused of the 2017 murder of the 15-year-old Green Pond High School student. Convicted co-defendant Maria Morrison, who is a Crown witness, testified on November 30 that he and Roberts had sex with a teenager before filming her stabbing death in Irwin. He also stated that the sexual act was not forced because Jamaica freely consented to it on Roberts' instructions. Morrison, who is currently serving a life sentence in relation to the teenager's murder, also told the court that he used Roberts' cell phone to record Roberts stabbing Jamaica while she cried and pleaded throughout the fatal ordeal on the night of January 29, 2017. In his evidence in chief on Tuesday, the forensic crime scene investigator described Jamaica's skin as dark as a result of sunburn and peeling. He said that the flesh was also protruding through her blouse and that she had multiple lacerations to her body. Her face was also swollen, according to him, and her tongue was clenched between her teeth. The exhibits were secured, according to the officer, and the schoolgirl's body was turned over to mortuary attendants and transported to Cornwall Regional Hospital, where the teenager was pronounced dead. The officer said that the exhibits were later sent to the forensic laboratory in Kingston. The trial, which began on November 23, has so far heard 12 of the 18 witnesses. 10 witnesses gave sworn evidence, while 2 other statements were read into evidence. The trial continues on Thursday. Hampton mourns following suspected drowning of student. Students and the staff at Hampton School have been plunged into mourning following Sunday's suspected drowning of 6th former Isa Ridgard in Treasure Beach. Principal Marvel Charlton Brown on Tuesday described Ridgard as a budding journalist and an outstanding student with leadership capabilities. She was quite the leader and was involved in a number of clubs and activities. She actually launched one herself at the start of this academic year. She was involved in 4-H, debating, the Journalism Society, of which she was vice president, the Crusher Club, and she was also a member of the magazine committee, said Charlton Brown. She is very pleasant, quite polite, very socially aware, added the principal. A police report said about 2 p.m. on Sunday, 18-year-old Ridgard and relatives were swimming at Old Wharf Beach in an area in Treasure Beach when she got into difficulties and was pulled into deep waters by a wave. The police said she was pulled out of the water by family members and transported to hospital, where she was pronounced dead. At Hampton, Ridgard was credited for proposing and forming a committee to solidify connections between Hampton and Monroe students. She called it the HMC, Hampton Monroe Connections. She and a close friend of hers submitted a proposal to the administration to form HMC in response to some occurrences she learned of in the media in the last year to 2 years involving ladies of Hampton as they transitioned from high school into universities, Charlton Brown said, adding that Ridgard had plans for a network event in March. Her effort was to solidify the social networks between the ladies of Hampton and our brothers at Monroe College. In fact, her proposal has the first networking event to be held in March of next year That is something we are going to do our best to see through to completion in her honor and the efforts of her friends as well, said the principal. Grief counseling for Hampton students and the staff, as well as Ridgard's family, has been ongoing since Monday. Our guidance unit has been giving support to her classmates and the students in sixth form, as well as the staff. We have received the support from neighboring counselors. Our school chaplain has been supporting the work of the guidance department. Our Old Girls Association dispatched the representatives to support the young ladies, said Charlton Brown. A delegation from Hampton School visited the family, and we will continue to give support, she added. Following Sunday's incident, Jason Hensel, a respected hotelier in Treasure Beach, is reiterating the need for more beach safety awareness and the no-go zones for swimming. Locals know not to swim in that particular cove. That day was extremely rough, he said. Hensel said the suspected drowning is traumatic for Treasure Beach. The thing that people don't understand is how much trauma there is when a drowning happens. It is so unfortunate for the family and the friends, but it is also very traumatic for the people in the community, he said. I can tell you that all the locals are in disbelief that someone would have seen the sea that rough and would have gone in. It baffles their mind. At the same time, we cannot be insensitive to the loss of life, he added. Hensel pointed out that the incident happened close to Pointy Hole, where a police trainee drowned earlier this year. The three most dangerous spots in Treasure Beach are Pointy Hole, Tranquility Bay Cove in Old Wharf, the easternmost cove there, and the John Rocks on the western side of Treasure Beach, he explained. Jamaican family killed in New York identified. The Jamaican family of 4 who were stabbed to death in their home in Queens, New York on Sunday morning have now been identified. They are Richmond Davis, believed to be in his 30s, Suzette Taylor Davis, 44 years, 12-year-old Rojan Davis, and 11-year-old Michaela James. 61-year-old Christine Watson, the aunt of the killer, remains in hospital, battling with wounds from the stabbing. New details regarding the family continue to emerge as the police dig deeper during their investigations. The 2 children are said to be Watson's grandchildren, while Davis, who recently arrived in the United States from Jamaica, is said to be her son-in-law. The bodies of Taylor Davis, her husband, and the 12-year-old were discovered in a back room of the house located in Far Rockaway, Queens. The 11-year-old was discovered on the lawn of the property with stab wounds after she broke a window, escaped the carnage, and called 911, saying that a cousin was killing her family members. She later died on arrival at hospital. The reported killer, Courtney Gordon, was shot and killed by the police, who responded to the 911 call. He was shot after slashing one policeman and stabbing another. The other victims were found in the house after police were able to access the home. Both police officers, who had non-life-threatening injuries, were treated at the hospital and released Sunday night. Reports further stated that other police officers who responded to the scene were unable to enter the home as fire had been set to a couch in the living room. The fire department responded and put out the blaze. The news understands that Gordon had previously been charged with domestic violence in the Bronx. The New York Daily News reported that Gordon's sister told the newspaper that he was taken into the Far Rockaway home by his aunt after he had become homeless.